What is going on, Neon Nation? Welcome back to the Neon Arcade for a ton more Cyberpunk 2077 news. I'm super excited about this one here as we have a big Q&A via a CDPR investors call where we learn about if there's going to be another delay, physical and digital distribution, new updates on next-gen versions, and a lot more. In addition, we have the potential of vehicle customization from a CDPR store hint, ESRB ratings, DLC and expansion plans, a new gang and its lore, as well as more teases of music to come. Get 15% off high-quality metal art from Displate featuring officially licensed designs. Check out the link in the pinned comment and the description. First, we have a CDPR Q&A at the end of a financial call laying out CD Projekts' 2019 finances, their balance sheet, and their numbers. At the end, we have a Q&A where investors could phone in to ask questions. The first question was if there was any elements of the release of Cyberpunk out of CDPR's control based on current events. CDPR's representatives maintain that they have obtained a mass majority of the game's ratings, so there is no risk of not obtaining these ratings in any major markets. This has also been echoed by Adam Badowski on Twitter. They also don't see physical-related launch risks by launching in September. The main issue at the moment is the localization process, as most recording studios are closed. They do have a majority of the other voice lines for the localization of other regions, and so they're not really worried about finishing this up, as worst case scenario, there will be a day one patch for these localizations. The next questions are regarding the market strategy of Cyberpunk now that conferences have been shut. If there are any insights into physical distribution of the game being affected and the mobile game from Spocko being developed in collaboration with CDPR. CDPR responds that they have been planning a digital strategy to unveil new 2077 facts and elements without relying on these events, and that they have been working on smart ways to present to a large volume of people. They have plans for a 100% digital presence, as well as a mix of physical and digital presences, as they also add that they have tentative plans from June through September. Piggybacking off the smart ways that they will present to a large volume of people, let me remind you of how the 48-minute demo dropped in 2018 on Twitch with the 24-hour glitch stream and the ARG which has unfolded under the radar. With their marketing being in-world and lore-based, you can bet a potential hacking or digital drop that is in line with the universe of Cyberpunk 2077 is how they're going to be distributing news and trailers. With physical distribution, CDPR assures us that this will not cause Cyberpunk 2077 to be pushed back, and supply chain is not so deeply affected where this will cause a deviation from this planned date. When it comes to Spocko, who is developing the aforementioned mobile title with CDPR, CD Projekt mentions that the prototype is playable and that internal testing is now the focus. Their lesson from Gwent is that releasing online games can wait until the moment where it is as polished as it can be, and it will be a purely mobile title. Now, they did put an emphasis on their online focus, and the fact that it's been in development for a while, I feel like this is going to be on a grand scale within the confines of what mobile can currently offer. I'm definitely optimistic for this title and the potential innovations in the mobile space. The next questions were in respect to the benefits of digital versus physical releases, and if CDPR is worried about the potential pileup of back-end releases, increasing the competition for Cyberpunk 2077 in September. CDPR responds with that they're not really worried, as there will be competition in any time you launch a game, and that they believe they have the must-have title that will sell regardless. When it comes to the benefits of digital versus physical sales for them, historically, digital has gotten them twice the earnings versus physical. This was the case with The Witcher 3, and with digital becoming much more popular, I'd imagine CDPR stands to earn more from this change in consumer preferences. When it comes to pre-orders, they are not disclosing their exact numbers, and their next project will be talked about after Cyberpunk. There is a series of events they have planned for post-launch, but as it stands, they're currently focusing on Cyberpunk like they've mentioned a couple times in the past. Moving on, apparently just under 600 people in the studio are working on Cyberpunk projects, with some employees being fluid between the single-player and multiplayer experience because they are so interconnected. 40 of them are in Wrocław for the multiplayer, but the vast majority are on the single-player. When it comes to QA and testing, there are around 130 to 150 people testing the game right now, which is double what they had for The Witcher 3. They mention internal and external testing happening, but remember they outsourced another Polish company a while ago to help with QA. CDPR does have next-gen dev kits in their hands, and although they can't speak on PlayStation as much has yet to be revealed for the PS5, they mention that there will effectively be two versions of the Series X. They're going to have the enhanced version which will be playable at launch, as well as a fully upgraded next-gen version which will come post-launch of the Series X. If you guys remember, CDPR tweeted that each Xbox One Cyberpunk 2077 purchase will be able to be upgraded to the next-gen version for free. Now as it stands, it seems like there will be 2, so I'm not sure if both will be free going forward or just the base enhanced one, but we're gonna have to wait for further clarification. These are some amazing new details here, and since I have been getting a ton of concern about another delay, well there you have it, they're confident in the September release date despite everything. Now there was another detail in the Q&A which I must have missed, and although I did listen to the entire 55 minutes of the teleconference as well as checked others' notes on the topic, but apparently VGC caught this fact from Adam Kaczynski where he mentions that Cyberpunk 2077 will have no less DLC than The Witcher 3 had. He also mentioned that on announcement timing, expect a similar scenario to The Witcher 3 where they announced DLC in the months prior and expansions in the weeks prior to release. If you're familiar with the lore, drop a comment, let me know what you want to see for expansions. Moving on, we have this new lore tidbit from a new gang called the Mox. Now I did show the logo off in my last news episode, but at the time I was editing, CDPR released a synopsis of this gang as well. According to the information in this tweet, this gang was formed in 2076 after the death of Elizabeth Lizzie Borden, a strip club owner and ex-prostitute who treated workers fairly and defended them from violent clients. The Mox refer to themselves as those who protect working girls and guys from violence and abuse. Now we also saw the Lizzie's graffiti tied into the behind the music trailer, and we have Lizzie Wizzy as a rocker girl pop star in the world, and now we have Elizabeth Lizzie Borden as a symbolic leader of the gang with a logo of what looks like Lizzie Wizzy's logo. Honestly, this is super confusing, although in my mind there's probably some sort of correlation here. Moving on, we have one of my favorite parts of this episode, and it's this new image of the VTech Quadra from the European CDPR store. Now either this is the reimagined look of the Quadra, or this is a big hint into vehicle customization. CDPR has been debating adding vehicle customization for a while now, and when we had Paweł Sasko on the Cyberpunk community podcast, he did mention being able to change the stats on your vehicle. This however looks like a more aesthetic overhaul with the option to possibly add stickers and other customizable elements. Again, this could just be a complete rework of the stark black Quadra we've seen before, but if it was, something tells me that they wouldn't include an outdated model in the collector's edition as a keychain. This is a big hint that this is customization based. Moving on, we have more speculation after CDPR released an image of their 2077 themed boardrooms named the Totentans, apparently a favorite of Mike Pondsmith, inspired by I believe a bar in San Francisco, as well as Tsunami, which is likely the weapons manufacturer Tsunami Arms. Now we haven't seen a Tsunami Arms weapon in the content currently available, but Tsunami makes some pretty heavy hitting weapons. The Hilux is a hex-barreled Gatling shotgun, and the developers have mentioned an 8-barrel shotgun, so maybe by 2077 the Hilux has been cranked up a notch or two. Finally, check out the sample of some electrifying synths via one of the in-house composers at CDPR. This has a lot of potential, and I'm digging what seems to be this track's beginning stages. As always, thank you guys for watching, and for more Cyberpunk, join Neon Nation by subscribing to the Neon Arcade.